Keeping venomous reptiles is an unforgiving hobby, requiring proper training and lots of experience. One simple mistake can be the difference between life and death. Remember, the most venomous snake in the world is the one that just bit you. There are no venomous snakes with training wheels. Just because you see viperkeeper handle snakes a certain way does not mean you should try it too.
Hello, Pink. How are you doing? You have any fangs for me today? If you do, just keep them to yourself unless you put them on the floor of the cage for me to collect. Otherwise, I don't want to see your fangs. So, now we can see over the past couple of seconds that the chick was presented. Her pupils dilated, which means that she's targeted the prey item. And there we go. Even if she didn't have venom, just getting hit with those fangs have got to ruin your day.
Well, Blondie here has been sitting very patiently watching as we walk back and forth, waiting her turn for food, and she's about to be rewarded for her patience.
This is a yellow phase common lancehead, found in the area of Venezuela in South America. Okay.
Another common lancehead and totally different from Blondie.
Yeah.
Just totally different.
And as I was saying, this is why people thought this was a totally different species from Bothrops atrox, you know, Pogo in the other room. They're not. Their DNA is quite identical to Bothrops atrox, the Pogo variety next door, so they didn't declare them a new species. Now Miss Whitetail, who just shed, is looking very impatient up there, so let's stop yammering, and I'm sure that's what she's thinking. Shut up and feed me. I had to pull her shed out earlier today, and she was quite excited about feeding, as she normally is. Hello. Oh! She's not terribly accurate. Actually, these chicks are probably not the warmest, therefore she struck at the heat panel where the best thermal image occurred, even though it was in prey shape. She was just going for something hot. But
Thankfully not your hand.
yes, yes, and this is always a very important thing here at the lair, that they don't chew on any of my appendages.
And you do give them a very good heat signature. He has got very hot hands.
Okay. Alright, you want to sort of back out. We'll make him happy. Alright, Mr. Forest Cobra. Well, that got your attention at least. You're waiting for it to move, huh? Here, I'll move it a little bit. After all that, you missed. Now notice, people, I didn't react. I didn't flinch. I didn't move. It's because he's looking for movement, and I want him to find the chick at the end of the forceps and not chase me across the room.
And he has done that.
Yes. Forest cobras have a very bad reputation for chasing keepers across the room, running them out of the snake room, screaming like little girls. You don't want these guys to chase you. Come on. There we go. Yes, I've been chased by a lot of snakes in my days. The worst offenders are taipans, forest cobras, and of course Elvis.
Now the boomslangs have
Well,
come out to visit a few times, but they kind of tend to then realize what they've done and get scared and go back in.
well,
So-
I mean, this was just it with the female taipan right here. She chased me across the room, only to realize a few seconds later is, well, how in the hell did I get out of my cage? Would you like something to eat, girlie, huh? Huh? Would you like something to eat? Okay, so she struck and held. A lot of times, venomous snakes will grab onto avian prey and not release it, whereas if you present them a rat, they will strike and release.
Oh, Miss Bobbit is popping her head out. We never see her.
Yes, she knows who's here and what's going on. It's just that I haven't gotten to the mice selection of the week. Alright, so we're going to offer Mr. Taipan a treat. And he's at this end of the cage, so I'm going to go to this end of the cage to present. Okay, and he struck and held too, which is really good because with a rat, they strike and release and then they follow my forceps out of the cage and cause heart failure, even without touching me. Thud has a mouse and is likely to go thud. He just doesn't have a whole lot of purchase on that upper lip. So I think as soon as he starts gyrating to eat, he will go tumbling down. Now, Mr. Boomslang here was as ravenous and as excited as Elvis gets. There you go. We're only opening that door as little as possible to get the food in so he doesn't launch himself at me like he did the last time. Not sure what brought that on, but I don't want to repeat it again.
As we try to keep a clear path now from the cage to the door, so if he needs to, he can back up very quickly.
Yes, like I did the other day. You know, Thud's ravenous and eagerly takes food, but you know, he's predictably so. Mr. Boomslang can be quite sedate, and on the other hand, he can be explosive. And the Thud, he's not going to venture out of his cage where Mr. Boomslang will chase you across the room, as well as Elvis, who's looking on in interest behind us. Mr. Boomslang flew out onto the floor. Elvis was immediately at the door wanting out to greet him. You know, but I don't think Elvis has much immunity to boomslang venom because they don't encounter boomslangs as food items. He probably thought, oh, that's a tasty big, you know, a rat snake of some kind. I'm just going to eat that if it comes any closer. And I wouldn't want them to encounter one another because I think maybe both of them would end up dead. I do know that one boomslang in a cage with another at a zoo did fatally envenomate another boomslang, quite by accident. You know, there was some food aggression there, if you call that an accident. Several days later, a week later, the bitten boomslang expired.
Back up here.
Yep, that's probably a very good idea.
Out of the way.
So he's worked that down. Oh, just hammers it. My God, they just vacuumed that down. Okay, well, he has his mouth somewhat occupied.
Look how twitchy he is.
He is a very twitchy snake.
So focused on every bit of movement.
Well, they've got that superb vision. I think even though we know he wants more,
Oh!
he's only going to get
Wow.
3. Yeah.
He has really gotten very aggressive. Or assertive, I guess you could say, although...
Dangerous is another word for it.
Yeah.
Unlike Bucky, who is quite easygoing and will take food quite gently off the forceps.
This guy wants it, and he wants it now. Oh, we're getting the throat puffing up.
Alright, I'm going to give this last one to Bucky. She's had 3 already. This I'll offer a 4th. You know, Bucky's trying to regain weight and some fat reserves because she put out a whole bunch of slugs earlier this year. So let's let Mr. Testy there.
Calm down a bit.
Yeah. This little hopeful face in the cage is one of my grown-up echis sociaruchii. Hello. Yes. This is why we open cages with hooks, because this gal is an eager feeder. Would you like that? Huh? Sadly, I've got such a surplus of these. These are children of the adult pair over in the echis tower area, and the reason why I keep the male and female separate is because These guys will breed for no reason at all. You just need a male and a female, and the next thing you know, you've got a boatload of babies. So sadly, I'm surplusing these guys off to a venom lab where they will help create anti-venoms for people in their native habitat that are bitten. So some of these guys, this is probably the last time that you see them. I'm very sad that they go because they're, you know, sort of kids. But, you know, kids grow up and move on, and this is the way of the world. So this is another one that's the same age as the one you just saw. Okay. There you go. Another female. Now these guys down on this level are actually a year or two later than the ones that you saw. These are like 2016, these are 2018. This is a male. Males are not necessarily such good feeders as females. You know, these guys were feeding on frozen thawed just very eagerly until I moved them over here, and then they got all butthurt. This guy is not interested. This guy will eat frozen thawed, live mice quite eagerly. Come on, I want to get this out. Yes, sorry, I'm not putting my hands down there. Echis bites would be a very bad thing. He'll eat live really eagerly, but he's very hesitant when it comes to frozen thawed. Now that's a male, and here's a female. Females generally are a bit different. Hello, would you like this? Huh? Again, these guys were eating quite well before I moved them, and now it's a bit hesitant. Come on. Come on. Well, I'll leave that behind. I'll check it later. And the last of the echis over here in bins. This is another male. I'm not certain how well the dead food will be received. Again, we see that he's interested, but not so much. But the female over here is a whole different story completely. We don't have to worry about having to feed her live food. So Mr. Kazakanov is, as usual, looking for a feed, so we will oblige him. He's an entertaining creature. He definitely is very happy to get stuff to eat, but you know, he's not going to get much larger, so it's all, I don't want to overfeed him. Come on, it's right there. Now, he does have this tendency to come out. Don't swan dive. Your food is in there. No, don't look me in the eye. Your food is in your cage. These are very cool little vipers from Eastern Europe. They're related to the British adder. Vipera is a very diverse genus of all sorts of different viperids, old world viperids from Europe. Their venom can knock you on the ass, but a lot of them really can't, kill you, but they'll make you miserable for quite some time. There is, anti-venom for them. They are medically significant. They're sort of really nice little group of snakes to keep. You don't see them very often here in the U.S. because, most keepers are just, I want a monocle cobra type idiot. And, and don't really try to, when these are imported, very few people buy them. They're a very cool species. I like them a lot. Mrs. Viperkeeper likes them a lot. Can be very entertaining, as this guy is. So, what can I say? You can't account for people's taste. Very lovely snake. Nice attitude, very eager to eat, even though he's a male, which is all really good stuff. So, come on, dude. Let's put you back in there and you can find your morsel. You're going to be a little bit... Watch my hand, I see you. No launching. There's your food right under your snoot. Wait. I need more of a close-up, Mr. DeVille. Not without glass. There you go. We'll give you some water later. Once we leave, he'll settle down and decide that food's there and it's dead and I'm gonna eat it. But right now, like most snakes, he's very distracted.